Great, thank you. All right, so as introduced earlier, my name is Maura DeLand, and I'm the Assistant Director for the Turner Senior Wellness Program. Many of you, I see a lot of familiar faces and some familiar names, so thank you for being here. There are many different programs that happen within the Turner Senior Resource Center, which can help you age in place. So I'm not going to go into the specifics, but rather kind of paint a broader picture and hope that at the end of the presentation, you know where to turn with your questions. So the social work and community programs are affiliated with Michigan Medicine's Geriatric Center. So at the Turner Senior Resource Center, there are programs, and this is, you know, we don't need org charts, you don't need to memorize this, but I do think it helps just to orient a little bit. But the social work office at the geriatric clinic, the social workers who work with patients at the geriatric center help with patient education, counseling, family meetings. They help people with advanced planning, psychotherapy, education groups, support groups. There are prescription assistance funds. So if you are a patient at the geriatric center, the social work team is a huge resource to be able to help you navigate aging related services. And then affiliated with that is the Turner Senior Resource Center. So we are kind of the community branch of the Michigan Medicine Geriatric Center Older Adult Services. And there are 3 different programs under the Geriatric Center that serve older adults that I will speak on behalf of. The Turner Senior Wellness Program, the Silver Club Memory Loss Programs, and the Osher Lifelong Learning Institute. So many people in the community, and I can't see your faces, but are familiar with the Turner Senior Resource Center. And a social worker started this program many years ago and advocated saying, hey, if we are investing in older adults' health and wellness, we're not going to see them as much in the clinic, which is less expensive. So that's kind of how we began. And the Turner Senior Resource Center used to be the name of the program that served older adults, but now it is the name of the building. So that picture is a little bit distorted, but it is the Turner Senior Resource Center currently houses 4 programs that serve older adults. The Housing Bureau, which Janet will speak about, will be actually moving, but right now we're all under the same roof and we provide a wide variety of services that help older adults on a lot of different issues. So again, these are the 4 programs that are housed in the Turner Senior Resource Center. It's nice to be able to be under the same roof so that we can help support each other and get you connected to the right people. So I'm not going to speak on the Housing Bureau, I'll let Janet do that. But the Osher Lifelong Learning Institute is all about lifelong learning. So there are study groups and lectures, lifelong learning opportunities that help you stay engaged. Osher Lifelong Learning Institute has many, many, many volunteers. So while this isn't necessarily directly correlated to aging in place, there's a lot of research that volunteerism helps keep people engaged and healthy. So if you aren't familiar with that program, it would be something I'd encourage you to look into. They have memberships and fees for their programming, but they also have scholarships available. So the 3rd program in the building is the Silver Club Memory Loss Program, and they have mild memory loss programming and moderate memory loss programming to help people who are living with dementia engage in appropriate ways. So it's an adult day program where your loved one can come for a short period of time or for the whole day and be engaged in meaningful ways while providing care partners with a respite. So oftentimes Silver Club provides a little bit of a bridge in being able to keep your loved one at home versus needing to move into long-term care in some capacity. So Shannon, I know you are actually on the call. If you wanted to chime in on anything else for the Silver Club, you're welcome to do that.
You gave a pretty good summary, but I can just highlight just a couple of the types of programming. So we do fitness, music, art, games, and then our early stage memory loss groups are a little bit more education based. So as Maura said, a good opportunity for people that maybe they need more supervision, because of their dementia or socialization, which we all know is very important. So people are welcome to reach out to me or to anybody at the Resource Center if you're interested in more information.
Thanks, Shannon. I put you on the spot there. And then the Turner Senior Wellness Program is the program that I work with. And we have health and wellness educational programs and activities, lectures, cooking demonstrations, ways to stay engaged, social connection, which is huge and very important for as we age, staying engaged. So we provide a lot of opportunities for social connection with recreation activities. A lot of times people are lingering over a cup of coffee before or after an exercise class. And then we also provide access to resources. So part of my job is to help people navigate resources in the community, whether that means I'm looking for home care, where do we start? Or I'm caring for my mom or dad, I don't know what to do. Or I live alone and I don't have any family in the area. How am I going to navigate this if and when my health changes? So we help older adults navigate resources in the community. So that's just a quick snapshot of the different programs in the Turner Senior Resource Center. I wanted to leave with you a few phone numbers, and we can send these out or questions at the end too, but these are a few places where you can learn about resources that are available in the community to help you age in place. Washtenaw County is resource rich for services for older adults. So the Resource Center, again, it is one place to turn. We can help get you connected to, I need help with ramps, or I need information about counseling services. The Area Agency on Aging serves many counties, and they're able to provide that similar level of support, as is Catholic Social Services and Jewish Family Services in the community. So there are, again, many great places to get support in Washtenaw County to learn about what's available. So I will turn it over to the next presenter, and happy to answer any questions at the end. But hope you know a couple of places where to turn to kind of get started for learning about services in the community, which can be pretty overwhelming to navigate at times. So thank you.
Thank you, Maura. Appreciate it. Our next presenter will be Janet, but I just want to make one quick comment. There's some storms happening, so if you get dropped off the call, please just try to come back in. So sometimes the power will fluctuate. So, okay, thanks.
Unmute yourself before you start talking. I'm Janet from the Housing Bureau for Seniors. I'm going to give a brief overview of Housing Bureau for Seniors as was asked, and definitely have time for questions at the end. So I do like to read our mission because it pretty much says it all in what we do. So recognizing that stable housing is imperative to physical and mental well-being, HBS informs and empowers older adults and those who care about them with guidance and resources regarding sustainable housing in Washtenaw County and beyond. So, like Maura outlined in her presentation, I'd like to give an idea of where we're coming from. So, Housing Bureau for Seniors rolls up to Community Health Services, and Community Health Services is Michigan Health wide community services that we accomplish with these programs. So Housing Bureau for Seniors falls within this. A couple you'll recognize too, Ann Arbor Meals on Wheels. Another program that we're working with in this project in particular is Program for Multicultural Health. So these are really, really great programs that are, consider ourselves the bridge to the community for all of Michigan medicine. A little bit about housing and why we do what we do. Many of you are familiar with the housing iceberg, and I like to utilize this and demonstrate how we fit into the housing and housing crises. Many of us know about literal homelessness. We see it on the streets, we read about it in the paper. It's somewhat in our face. It's something that's not comfortable, it's hard to see. Literal homelessness starts way before that, and it usually starts with a person being unaffordably housed. So they are trying to make ends meet. They're trying to rob Peter to pay Paul, so to speak. Their debt to income ratio is usually way out of kilter. So it's an unaffordable situation, but they're managing and they're figuring out how to get through day to day. That turns into oftentimes what we call unstable housing. So unable to make ends meet again, trying to, not quite able to rob Peter anymore. Peter's out of money. So what that turns into is becoming behind on rent or mortgage. It often looks like frequent moving as well. So somebody who is moving from place to place to maybe get away from the eviction notice that is pending or looming. And then that is followed by hidden homelessness. So once the housing situation is so unstable that they lose housing, hidden homelessness comes into play. So what this looks like and what we refer to terms as couch surfing and doubling up. Couch surfing is living with friends and family, literally on a couch sometimes, but you still have a roof over your head and you're still managing and maintaining. Oftentimes, folks in this situation have a lack of social supports, whether it's real or perceived. They feel like they can't go anywhere, don't know what to do. They're kind of stuck. We see a lot of folks in hidden homelessness situations where family members want them out. We had a call this morning with, we kind of did a team triage for somebody who's living with their, I think brother or something, and brother wants him out and then he's got to go and he has no place to go. So the reason I tell you all this is the Housing Bureau for Seniors basically works with folks before they become homeless. So we are true prevention. We try to work with them and make sure that homelessness doesn't occur. And that's the biggest reason why I wanted to demonstrate this to you. So we have core programming, which is eviction prevention. I'll go into these a little bit more in detail in a minute. Housing counseling, foreclosure prevention. We also engage in a couple of annual events. Senior Living Week, which we are just getting ready to launch. Emails went out this afternoon to start to secure sponsors. This year we're doing a grab and go expo, which we did last year, but we're expanding it. So for those of you who don't know what that is, we are going to be engaging with probably 10 to 15 different locations, senior centers, libraries, farmers markets, starting early August. And then we're going to be promoting our Senior Living Week, which is going to be the week of September 26th. And generally the week of Senior Living Week, we have guest speakers and we'll be doing them webinar. Everything on that end is going to be virtual. So keep an eye out for information about that. In addition to that, we do offer certain workshops, addictions in older adults, senior bullying, when to know when to move, and then aging sensitivity exercises are often very well received. So what do? In eviction prevention, just like it sounds, we help individuals who are at risk of being evicted, making sure that that doesn't happen. So that we do a full comprehensive biopsychosocial, look at their situation, do a budget, try and figure out what is going wrong in a situation. A lot of times it is for non-payment of rent. Sometimes it's for behavioral issues where we will, our social worker who's working on this connects them with different other resources, and oftentimes works together with other resources. We get a lot of referrals from Adult Protective Services to help make sure that these older adults, very vulnerable older adults, stay housed. And then housing counseling is offering decisions. So, and this runs the spectrum. So technically eviction prevention could turn into a situation where someone becomes serious risk of their housing, they have to move. That's housing counseling. That's helping them figure out where to go, what can they afford, what makes sense, all the way. And then housing counseling goes all the way to the other end for folks who want information about what's next for them. Do they want to downsize? Where they want to go? What makes sense for them? Is it an assisted living situation? Is it independent housing? And then we will counsel them and talk with them and figure out what makes sense and help them figure that out. So we also maintain senior housing guides which are available. If you contact us, we can help you navigate through those. And then finally, foreclosure prevention. This is working on the homeowner side of older adults, folks who are at risk of losing their home ownership, a lot of times because of property taxes. We have experienced working with older adults who, a very recent example, someone was, she was fell victim to a scam and lost a whole bunch of money, which put her into a situation to where she isn't able to pay her property taxes. But we're gonna hopefully be able to step in and help her figure that out to save her home. We have a couple emergency loan funds, a couple of other little pots of money that we could potentially dip into to help somebody in that way. We run an annual tax clinic in conjunction with the AARP. It's usually done at Turner Senior Resource Center, and it will be again. And as Maura mentioned, this should have been a long time ago, but we are moving. That grid I showed you with the Community Health Services, we are part of that department, and we're being swept up with the department. So, but we still plan on having our partnership with the AARP at Turner Senior Resource Center and for the tax season 2022. As I said, we do emergency loan funds. Step Forward Michigan doesn't apply anymore, it doesn't exist. But then we also connect folks with free tax preparation, so making sure that they have what they need to get their property taxes done. Not just property taxes, their income taxes. So that's us in a nutshell, and I will hopefully answer some questions at the end, and I'm going to stop the share for the next presenter.
Thanks, Janet. And next up, we're gonna hear from Courtney about her programming. So thanks, Courtney.
Absolutely. Hi, folks. Glad to be with you today. I'm Courtney Vanderlaan. I'm the director of Ann Arbor Meals on Wheels, and I am excited to share a little bit with you about our program and the work that we do. So Ann Arbor Meals on Wheels is a part of the Community Health Services Department at Michigan Medicine, along with the Housing Bureau for Seniors that Janet shared with you about. The mission of our program is to reduce hunger and food insecurity for our homebound adult neighbors in the Ann Arbor area who are unable to shop and prepare nutritious meals for themselves due to their health. We place a big emphasis on helping to support folks to age in place as long as they'd like to do so and as long as it's safe for them to do so through the provision of our healthy prepared meals and other supportive services that are delivered to folks directly in their homes. This is just a quick little overview. I won't get into too much detail with this, but our program has been in existence for over 45 years. We have always been affiliated with the University of Michigan Health System, now Michigan Medicine, since the start of our program, but we previously just received meals and function as our own independent nonprofit. And then in the 90s, we became an official program of the University of Michigan Health System and have functioned in that capacity for over 25 years now. If you have lived in the area for a while, you may have previously known us as Motor Meals, same organization, just a different name to reflect the service area that we deliver meals to. There are several Meals on Wheels programs that I'll talk a little bit about in a minute here in the county. So we changed our name to Ann Arbor Meals on Wheels to more clearly define where we're actually providing Meals on Wheels to. Today, we have over 200 volunteers who help us deliver 19 routes. We're delivering around 700 meals a day right now. We typically deliver meals 6 days a week, but have been on a consolidated 3-day delivery schedule since the beginning of the pandemic in order to limit potential contact with our clients and our volunteers and staff, but we look forward to hopefully returning to our 6-day delivery schedule in the fall. We serve around 400 clients over the course of the year and typically deliver well over 100,000 meals each year. We serve primarily older adults and folks who have disabilities. Everybody that we serve needs to be homebound due to a physical or mental health reason, meaning that they have difficulty leaving their home on their own, with the exception of the occasional outing or doctor's appointment. Our clients are served regardless of their age or financial status. So the vast majority of the people that we serve are over the age of 60, but we do serve folks under 60 as well if they are homebound and live in our service area. We request a donation for the meals that folks receive, but there is no obligation to contribute to the cost of meals if people are unable to do so. Their meal provision is never dependent upon their ability to financially contribute. A client's spouse or unpaid caregiver may also be eligible to receive meals if we deem that it's in the best interest of a client. And so we like folks to know that in case that would be a helpful support for the client and their caregiver. In order to be eligible, folks also need to live in our service area. So we serve the city of Ann Arbor and portions of the surrounding township. We need to make sure that we can safely meet nutritional needs of the folks that we're serving. So sometimes when people have very severe food allergies, we will try to connect them with other resources to ensure that they're getting the nutritional support that they need. All of the vast majority of our meals, I should say, come from Michigan Medicine's hospital kitchen. And we also partner with Lucky Kitchen to provide an Asian meal option. But there are certain allergens that are still present in the kitchen. And so we work with clients on an individual basis to ensure that we can safely meet their nutritional needs or connect them to other resources if not. Our clients need to be unable to prepare complete nutritious meals for themselves. So sometimes what we find is when we're doing initial intakes with clients, they might think, yes, I can make meals for myself. And we ask what that entails. And that might entail making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And that might be it. And from our vantage point, that's great, a great fill-in if needed, but that doesn't provide this sufficient nutrition for somebody for all the meals a day that they might need. And so then we definitely want them to be connected to our program. We ask that our clients are home when the meals are delivered. We don't leave meals if clients are not home. And then our clients, we have to do an initial assessment and then reassessments every 6 months thereafter while folks are receiving services from our program. I took a little screenshot here just to give an overview and walk you through really quickly in case you or somebody you know, a loved one, might be interested in Meals on Wheels and think that you or they are eligible. The county created this excellent interactive map that outlines the service areas for all of the Meals on Wheels programs in Washtenaw County. We are that lime green funky shape in the middle of this map. But if you go to our website, if you just Google Ann Arbor Meals on Wheels, or call our office or go to the county's website, you can pull this map up, and where it says find address or place on the right side of that picture, you can type in your home address or the home address of your loved one or neighbor or friend and determine which Meals on Wheels program you live in or the person lives in. And then that will provide you with the contact information for the program that you'll want to reach out to. Our Meals on Wheels programs in Washtenaw County are split up based on geographic area. So we try not to have any duplication in the areas that we serve to ensure that we can cover the full county. So that's what you're seeing here on this map with the different colors. We have a few photos of our meal options here. I always say I'm not a good photographer, so know that the meals actually look and taste better than what these photos are representing. But the important thing for you to know is that we serve up to 2 meals a day for folks who want them, 6 days a week with an extra meal on Saturday for Sunday, as well as ensure for folks who would benefit from a liquid meal supplement. We have 2 Western meal options. One typically contains meat and one is a vegetarian option. And then they're accompanied by this cold tray that has all the sides for the meal in it. We also have an Asian meal option that we are able to provide due to a partnership with Lucky Kitchen. There are 2 entrees in this dish right now, and they're typically accompanied by soup or orange juice or fruit. We also are able to serve a cold bag. So this is the second meal option of the day that usually has a sandwich, a salad, a wrap in it, along with milk and a fruit and vegetable side. And then we're able to provide, as I said, a liquid meal supplement called Ensure in strawberry, vanilla, or chocolate. We do need medical providers to verify a prescription for that, but these are all available and allow us to provide between the hot meals and the cold bag up to 13 meals a week if that's what a client needs, in addition to the Ensure. we rely very heavily on volunteers. These are from our last fiscal year, as we're just wrapping up our current fiscal year. We have over 400 volunteers dedicate more than 8,800 hours of their time to drive almost 76,000 miles to deliver 140,000 meals to 424 clients. And part of that was during the pandemic. So if you or anybody you know is interested in being a meal delivery volunteer, please visit our website and there is more information there. Just the impact from our last fiscal year that our clients had said, you can see here that there is a significant impact that Meals on Wheels can have on the lives of the folks that we serve. Folks that say that they eat healthier, that the meals they receive are their most important source of nutritious food, that their meals help them achieve or maintain a healthy weight. Sometimes their weight and their health actually improves due to receiving Meals on Wheels, which is always really encouraging for us. The vast majority of our clients say that the contact that they have with the Meals on Wheels volunteers, even at a distance, even masked, is still really important to them. And 97% said that Meals on Wheels helps them to stay in their home and live independently. As I stated earlier, that is a large focus of our program and the work that we do. And we are really excited to be a part of this Aging in Place Efficiently project to help support folks in some additional ways in order to stay in their homes. So just some basic contact information for us. This is a phone number for our main office, our email address that goes to our team, and then our website here. I don't expect you to quickly jot these things down. I'm sure we can send this information to you all, or you can visit our website if that is easy for you to do. And then the last slide here is just some handwritten quotes and comments from some of our clients about the impact of Meals on Wheels on their lives. And the difference that it has made for them.
Those are a lot of wonderful options. Thanks to all three of you. So now we're going to present about the City of Ann Arbor's Aging in Place Efficiently program. And Cora, I'm going to have you start us off and I will share the screen.
Will do. Yes, to echo Jennifer's sentiment, thank you so much to the three previous presenters. For this last section, we will talk about the Aging in Place Efficiently program, and then we will go ahead and we'll open it up for any questions or comments or just anything you need. So as Jennifer said, my name is Cora Drefts. The two of us are the co-coordinators for our Aging in Place Efficiently program. We'll go ahead and start this by giving you, if you want to write down our website, you can see this information. Most of it will be housed there at a2gov.org/AIP. So in addition to this being recorded, there's also that resource if you'd like to look at that in the future. So Aging in Place, what is it? We are part of the A20 plan, which you may have heard of, to reach carbon neutrality in the city of Ann Arbor by 2030. We have some emphasis specific, well, within the whole A20 plan, but in this program, equity and justice. So our focus here is to provide income qualified older adults some retrofits to their homes with the goal to increase the energy efficiency, as well as provide a higher sense of safety and greater comfort to those who want to remain in their homes for as long as possible.
You just heard from some of our partners, and we are incredibly thankful for their contributions and their recommendations and their guidance as we go through this program. So we welcome you to look at the list. I think some of them would be quite familiar. For example, Habitat for Humanity, University of Michigan. The county is also a partner. And in addition to their recommendations, we also look forward to cross-referencing people to services. So someone may not qualify for the Aging in Place Efficiently program, but they may qualify for Meals on Wheels, or they may benefit from some of the resources through the Turner Senior Resource Center. So we're excited about that.
Yeah, so now specifically we'll get into the program. So what are the qualifiers that we're looking for? In order to complete the initial screening, we're looking for folks who are 60 years of age or older who are living in a single family home in Ann Arbor. So if you check out our website, if you're unsure whether or not you fit the if your address is within the location in the city, there is a little place on our website where you can enter your address and it'll tell you whether or not you qualify. And then we do have a qualified income cap. So I know this graphic maybe is kind of hard to see on the Zoom screen in front of you, but we're looking for folks who are at 80% of the area median income. So for instance, if you live in a single family household, your annual income has to be at or below $54,950. And it does increase. So say it's you and a spouse or a partner or just anyone else of social support living with you, the income cap does increase based on the number of persons living in the home. Again, this is on our website. So if you want to refer back to it, you can find it there.
So we're in the pilot phase of this program. We've just started launching our first 3 homes, and we're excited about that. And we are looking for people who are interested in being a stakeholder in the program. So if they meet the qualifications for income, living in Ann Arbor, and they're over the age of 60, and they're interested in helping really co-design this program with us. We're getting fantastic feedback from the participants that we have in process now. And we really value that because we're trying to provide services that reflect the needs of the community. So the expectations to be one of the stakeholders would be transparency and cooperation. So if something, we'd really want to hear your comments, good and bad, about the program, because that helps us improve it. Sharing of utility bills and other benchmarking data. The utility bill is the only data that we capture long-term. And that's because one of the goals of the program is to reduce utility costs so that people can then use those financial resources for other services. So there's participation in publicity and outreach and completion of a follow-up survey, again, to help us determine how it's going and changes that we may want to make.
So the next step, if you meet the criteria and are looking to move forward, there will be the initial eligibility screening. So really just to confirm you meet the benchmarks that we laid out on previous slides. After you meet those eligibility screenings, we get an idea of what you're looking for. We'll do an in-home intake assessment. And Janet Hunko's on the screen. We've already started working on those. Basically, we have social work go in. They can confirm necessary documents as well as just get an idea of what may be necessary to thrive, to age in place for as long as possible. After social work goes in and completes the in-home intake, there's also an occupational therapy assessment. So we have a registered and licensed occupational therapist who comes in, sees how you move around in your home, determines what adaptations may be necessary or beneficial. And then there is also an in-home energy audit. So all of these folks come in and we get these in-home assessments taken care of before we move forward to the next steps.
And so the next step is to take the different assessments, get some recommendations on what's suggested in terms of improvements. So the example I would give you is if I were having this done in my own home, I have pretty severe arthritis in my hands. So one of the recommendations might be that rather than having twist knobs, that I have lever knobs, right? So for each person, we're looking at what the improvements are that'll be the most beneficial to them. And then that also includes energy improvements as well. So in looking at what's available and what the budget is for each home, we then sit down with the homeowner and have a discussion about what makes the most sense. We also want to make sure that there's comfort with the contractors and other service providers throughout the process. We're practicing safety protocols for COVID-19. That's a shifting landscape, as we all know. And we want to make sure there's a high level of satisfaction with the services that we provide. And in terms of the contractors and service providers, you are meeting several of them today on screen, so thank you. But they are all vetted carefully. They're bonded, insured, and licensed, and there's a workmanship warranty for the construction that's done in the home. And then we have very clear guidelines for inside the home. For example, right now, contractors have to always wear a mask when they're in the home, things like that. And then again, referring people to other services and other programs that are in the area is a big piece of what we're hoping to do.
So next, what happens after the home renovations? There will be some post-project assessments. So there will immediately completing the work, there will be a satisfaction survey. So any feedback can be provided at that time. If there are, for instance, aging in place renovations that need, for instance, some education or teaching, the occupational therapist will return soon thereafter to make sure that the improvements are being utilized correctly. And then a year following the renovations, we'll have another in-person visit where we will again look at, utility payment information, hopefully decrease in energy costs, as well as make sure everything that was done is still in good working order, and just to check in to make sure folks are aging in place as they wish and as they hope to. And then moving forward, after we do this initial pilot with stakeholders who will provide robust feedback, we're going to take lessons learned, make any adaptations or improvements necessary, and we'll apply this to the next phase of the program. So cumulatively, we will help approximately 25 households. Again, this is all completely free thanks to funding, so there will be no costs incurred for anything, none of the in-home visits, energy audit, nothing. It will be completely free of charge to the 25 approximate households that we work with. And that is a brief overview of our program. If you have questions, you can see, again, our website. My name's Cora Dreffs. My number's on the screen, our email, as well as Jennifer Wolf. This will send out so you're not frantically scribbling information down. But at this time, we'll go ahead. We will stop the screen share. And if anyone has questions for anyone who presented today, please feel free, go ahead, either unmute yourself or raise your hand, and we'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
I'm just curious to know, is there anybody on the line right now who has used any of these services? And if so, do you have any thoughts to share? Just interested.
I guess we just did such a fantastic job presenting. There's no questions.
I guess I have a question. This is Beth Venier. I was thinking that this was going to be more like suggestions for things you can do in your home, or contractors that are, I don't know, maybe certified in aging in place, if there is such a thing, or who have experience with it. I don't have any income right now, but I do have money in the bank, so I think I wouldn't qualify for the program. But I'm interested in having some things done in the near future. Do you guys have any kind of lists like that?
One resource that I would direct you to is the National Association of Home Builders, because they keep the list of all the CAPS certified, so certified aging in place specialists. So that might be something to consider. The other thing is, if you just want to capture one of our contact information, any of us, and somebody can bounce you over to me or to Cora, we can look and see some of the recommended providers that are being used as part of this program. So if that would be helpful. So for example, I don't know if you're looking at a bathroom or insulation or what exactly, but we could try and help you out with that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
And I will also name another one of our partners is Michigan Saves, and they offer low interest rate loans. They also on their website have a list of contractors that they use in the area. And that may be another resource if you just want to look up Michigan Saves to see what there's listed there as well.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And Beth, I don't know if you email regularly, but my email is jwolf, so jwolf@a2gov.org. I would like to make one mention for those of you who have friends or family who don't do a lot of virtual interfacing. Maybe they don't even have a computer. Please feel free to share the phone numbers so that they have a chance to reach out. Going forward, we'll be doing in-person forums like this, but we're right at the cusp of COVID and all of those different protocols. So we are aware that there are people who are just not able to get this information virtually. So we'd appreciate your sharing it. I don't see any hands up, but if somebody does have a question, feel free to just unmute and chime in. I'm happy to say we have a pretty big group, but the downside is sometimes we miss somebody trying to ask a question.
Hi, I have a question. I'm wondering if the program might get expanded beyond the city of Ann Arbor borders, such as people who live in Pittsfield Township but have maybe an Ann Arbor mailing address.
The intention is eventually for it to go countywide. So, but I will tell you that's probably a few years down the road, to be honest. So,
Thank you.
I have a question. I know that there used to be a senior home sharing program where seniors could be matched up with people to share their homes and help out. And I hope that that will return.
I hope so too. That home share program was basically a casualty of COVID. We couldn't figure out how to or safely house people together in the middle of a pandemic. So it's my intention to bring it back. I just don't know when or how, but mark my words, it's coming back.
Thank you.
there have been some good outcomes from the pandemic. We can all sit in our living rooms and join a meeting together. And then there are some downsides. So like Janet just described for her program. So, and I know Courtney, you've had challenges as well. And so has the Turner Senior Wellness Program. So we do appreciate everyone on the call who is adding their creativity to problem solving in the middle of a pandemic. So. Do we have any other questions? Is anybody?
Is there a general timeline that you're anticipating this kind of these 25 home pilot, or not necessarily?
It's a really good question. So we have ended up in the same pandemic. Whoa, how do we do this scenario? And so it has delayed the start of the program, has delayed the rate of the launch. So right now we're looking at completing 5 homes by early fall and then launching the remaining 20 homes in February. So that may change if things open up and change. We just don't really know, like everyone else on this call, what the landscape will look like in the wintertime. So we're still balancing those issues. We do feel from recommendations from Habitat and recommendations from the county and Michigan Saves, the protocols are as safe as they can be, but it just means that the work happens at a slower pace. So thanks for asking that. Good question.
Can I ask a question? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I left for a second, so I didn't know how far you had moved on. Anyways, my name is Marla S. And I just want to thank you for doing this because, you know, one is you're great about identifying all these resources so we don't have to go on that same track. But also what I found that was offered by Turner and several other, you know, everybody who was here is that the understanding that it's even more helpful to just call and say hello and see how you're doing, and matching up maybe people who are more willing to do that on a regular basis, you know, once, you know, like not just home sharing, but, you know, hi, I'm going to call you tomorrow or check on so-and-so or whatever. And then the other thing is just if there's, I loved this presentation today, and I know it's a lot to put together things like this, but if there's maybe once every couple months, there's like an update or something, it reminds me to get moving on some of the things, you know, like, why don't you clean the basement? Or why don't you, you know, fix these things or make these phone calls instead of just wait till like, oh, I forgot to do that. You know, it's kind of like a little nudge thing. Like, have you done these things before or something? So I don't know, I'll think more about it, but I just think you've done a wonderful job. Thank you for spending the time and energy to do this.
Thank you. I think we all appreciate hearing that. And we also, I appreciate hearing that you've had some ways to keep your network going. I know for a lot of us, when our communities were no longer in person, it was difficult. So
Yeah. I know for many people it was. I think, was it Turner that they would call, somebody would call almost every single day, which was really cool. And I didn't have to sign up or anything. I don't know how I got on that list, but it was nice.
We did launch a friendly caller program that kind of started organically and has a little bit more structure now to it. So we match volunteers with people who just want to chat, and that's another thing that we're able to offer now that we wouldn't necessarily have launched without the pandemic.
Yeah, well, thank you. I really valued it, especially because it was so scary at the beginning, like of the pandemic. And then I think when I got more confident, like the whole world wasn't going to fall out and who knows what the heck was going on. I think one day it just actually brought me to tears. I was like, oh, I don't have to feel alone, and I'm so strong, and I'm going through all these handouts that you guys have given me for like how many years. I got them in a box under the bed, and it's like, where's this, where's that? But and very nicely done though. Very respectful and compassionate.
Maura, is that going to continue for a little while? Do you know?
It is, yes, it is planning to continue, and we're actually working on getting some grant funding to hopefully be able to expand it.
Nice, wonderful. Do we have any other questions?
Can I ask one more question?
Sure.
Okay, sorry, Nan. One of the things that I'm on what's the network thing? I can't even think of it now. Anyways, but we were, it's all hooked up to the neighborhoods. Okay, the one time I need to ask you a question, but anyways, one of the things that comes up a lot is like there is a handyman or handy woman, somebody who can do small repairs, or that would be a really great hookup, I guess, if and somebody that we all don't have to go in and make sure they're okay or they're not axe murderers or something like that, But that was the thing I've seen come over and over again on the thing that I'm talking about. Okay, does that
Next
sound?
door? Next
Pardon?
door? Is it next door? Is that the?
Thank you. God, I can't. Yeah, thank you.
Sure.
But I just look at the different questions, but that's one of them, that came up a lot and still is.
That is good to know. Thank you. I have heard that there are a lot of next door conversations about trying to find those types of resources. So.
Oh, and it's great because it's right, it's in the area, I mean, it goes like as far to Chelsea or whatever. But what's really nice is it also gives, like, if somebody comes to do plumbing for me, then I'll say my comment to them and I'll say either don't call this person, or don't call Mitch, but call these people. And it's nice to have that kind of feedback with somebody, But also I know a number of women who it started like on one thing got broken and then another thing got broken and they I don't know what to do. Now women, it's forcing us to get more get tools and do it, take care of it. So I'm not like that bad, but I just think that was one thing that I've tried to encourage my friends. It's like, if you feel like, your stove isn't working or whatever, and there used to be something in Ann Arbor where people could do that, call and ask about appliances, or, if that happened to be somebody's real skill, but that's another thing. I don't know, maybe what I should ask is, is there a way I can contact you to give feedback so I'm not taking so much time? How would that be? It takes a while to jumpstart, but I could probably go on forever. So
Just want to make a comment for individuals who are, if you're having a situation where you're having a stove or a refrigerator that's not working, HBS might be able to help either give you a resource, or we actually facilitate a senior crisis intervention program, which is unmet needs program for older adults in Washtenaw County. So that could be a potential place to go for things like that.
okay, I'm okay.
Might,
and I'm lucky enough to have the resources to get things fixed. But for some people, they're kind of both 50-50. Some have money, but not, I mean, it can really be a lot just to get the people to come to your house, it can be a house call of like $100 or something. So, but okay, that'd be good. Thanks.
Thanks, Marla. Also, if someone has a really large need, for example, a roof repair, ramps, I believe they also do water heaters. There's a county program, so feel free to reach out to any of us on the call, and we can refer you to them as well.
Okay, thanks.
for their different guidelines as well.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you all. So we are coming close to our 3 o'clock mark, and I just want to see, I just don't want to leave off anyone else who might have had a question. I'm not seeing anyone unmuting. Is anyone else? Cora, you're seeing anybody?
Nope, I do not.
All right. Well,
Move
thank
on.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you all. I want to thank the people who presented on this call. I want to thank Maura for hosting and doing all the registration and that huge heavy lift. Thank you for that. And I personally appreciated getting the reminder today, so I didn't have to hunt for the Zoom link. So thank you. And I think we all have those challenges at times. So I hope that this has prompted you to think about some of the different resources if you're not already using them. And again, if you are, we do welcome feedback on how your experience is going. So, and do any of our co-presenters, anybody have anything they want to add at the end here? Okay, thank you so much. Well, take care, everybody. Looks like we might be getting a little bit more rain, according to my window and my dog, who's letting me know that it's raining. But so stay dry and stay safe. Thanks.
Thanks,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you
you.
again.
Bye.
I really appreciate it.